I was interested in experimenting more with KeywordInsights.ai tool because I was really intrigued by the grouping. And as you know, we're always looking for efficiencies and different things like that. So KeywordInsights.ai is a platform that's got a few different tools. There's also a content brief tool, and this tool is interesting. It takes a little bit to load. But once you've entered your topic, right, which could come from that cluster, it pulls in basically content from all of the sites that are ranking. So Semrush is ranking #1, Terakeet's ranking #2, and you can see your H1s, H2s, et cetera. You can kind of expand that and see what are kind of the main points and different things that are covered in each section. And you can actually then move them over to this editor over here. You can say, okay, this is going to be an H1. You could then edit it so it's not the same. If you click this, it generates AI content to just kind of add more context. But that AI content is actually based on these SERPs. So that can be helpful. I've seen some kind of ridiculous stuff that it writes. I certainly wouldn't use it to write an article, but it may be helpful in that way. You can also pull things into the brief from people also ask, Reddit questions, just kind of move these over to kind of make your outline. And then finally, if you do use the content brief tool, the title AI feature shows up again here just for this topic. You can choose to use one of these as the title. You can also edit the meta, and of course the export to Google Drive or Docs or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. Could save a lot of time.
Real quick, the content brief tool,
Yeah.
when it generates that AI content, do you happen to know if it's unique? It's probably not great, like you had mentioned, but I'm wondering if you wanted to use it, would you have to change it?
I don't know. I think it is unique because that would be kind of the point of using AI versus they could have just scraped the content from where I pulled this bullet over. So I think it is unique, but I'm not 100% sure.
And I was going to mention too, this looks a lot like with how it's pulling in competitors, and you can have those little bubbles and you can drag them over. Semrush just released a content outline brief tool that looks just like this.
So Alex just mentioned the new Semrush tool that's still in beta. I think it's called like Content Outline Builder. And it's very similar to what Mike kind of showed us with Keyword Insights. So I'm going to kind of share that real quick. But it is very similar to Keyword Insights and actually Clearscope too. So you can get to the tool by just going to extra tools here and then Content Outline Builder. Let's jump here into the outlines. So you can just enter a topic and just run it, and it'll create and generate an outline for you. It is a fairly useful tool in terms of I'll tell you kind of what I got out of it. But as far as it compared to Clearscope, it generates a lot of similar things in terms of word count, readability, competitors, and things like that. One of the neater things I got from it was the article title and description generation that it had. It was pretty good. I honestly used that, and that kind of saved me a little bit of time in terms of creating a page title, meta description, and an H1. So that was pretty cool, and it provides you a couple of options too to work with. And then if you scroll down here, it has recommended descriptions, keywords as well. And then the table of contents is kind of similar to what you were showing, Mike, as far as the functionality and drag and drop, essentially. I wasn't super impressed with the AI. So this is what it automatically generated as far as the contents of the outline, which is, pretty basic. So no matter what, you're going to have to mine for, subtopics and whatnot. But you can do that easily. You can check out, what competitors are writing about. And I'm assuming this pulls it from the first page of search results. And also questions too. I'm assuming these are more people ask questions that it generates that you can kind of again, mine for subtopics or, specific questions you can add into the piece. It also generates specific facts that you can actually use, within the article that you're writing. So it could be a potential tool for writers as well, just so kind of touching on similar things that, are pertinent to the main topic.
I would agree with your thoughts, Caesar, on the AI stuff. I thought the titles and the descriptions were just kind of helpful. I don't know if I would use them or not. And the keyword data was okay. I really liked the table of contents creator because it originally came back with just 4 bullet points, like what you had, which is not very useful. But when I looked at used by competitors, I was able to just build them out. And I ended up creating a really long outline. So I felt like it helped me come up with a really in-depth outline. I thought the facts here sucked. And then the articles for inspiration, they came back with Airbnb. Like that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it's not great. I like that it has some images too. And they're from Unsplash, so you can use them. So I think there's some good things about it. I especially like the outline though.
I still kind of love Clearscope more just because like if you're gonna like have to create the outline anyways, you might as well stick within the one tool instead of like trying to, use two tools at the same time, essentially. If the AI was better, it might be a different story. But for now, I feel like Clearscope's kind of easier to use. Like I said, I really like the titles and descriptions it generated though. And that I feel like that was like a time saver too. And that'll save you time for sure. And if you're scratching your brain and you're taking a minute to think of these, you can just generate one of these and then pick one.
I was going to mention too that Clearscope, they have an outline section. It's not just drag and drop, but it's kind of the same deal. It shows all your competitors and you could just copy and paste it into the outline. So that could be an option too.
So far, like I think the Keyword Insights tool had a better AI. Did it generate an outline too, Mike?
I don't think it did. That doesn't mean it doesn't. It may just be that I don't know how to do it. It really just kind of outlined each of the ranking pages. Well, I don't know if there's a functionality to just kind of build one. I think they're trying to leave that part to the human element, but trying to give you the tools just to kind of like speed up the work and have all the information at your fingertips.
I'm trying to hopefully find like, that silver bullet that just kind of generates a nice outline for you that you can just kind of like run with and don't necessarily have to do a lot of research for. I'm looking into that tool, specifically Semrush, but also like Content Harmony, Surfer SEO, Market Muse, and then Conductor are some of the ones that I'm looking at.
You mentioned Surfer SEO. Theirs aren't very good at all. I've done a few of them and it just pulls from what other articles already have. I think it just copies them.
To make the outline. I would add to that, it's not just the tools, it's also services. I mean, there's so many done for you content brief services. I've seen them as low as $29 a brief. I'm not saying they're any good. Who knows? They may just hit that automated button and that's the content brief. There still is very much a human need, right? Just because we can automate one thing or whatever, that just means there's other stuff that like we need a human brain to figure out and put the pieces together and everything else. It reminds me of the old CRO team shirts we had for a trade show we used to go to. And on the back, it said, "A fool with a tool is still a fool."